President Donald Trump celebrated on Twitter on Saturday morning after the Republicans' dramatic tax reform victory in the Senate overnight. Shortly before 8 a.m., he rejoiced, "Biggest tax bill and tax cuts in history just passed in the Senate. Now these great Republicans will be going for final passage. Thank you to House and Senate Republicans for your hard work and commitment." An hour later, he celebrated them outside the White House before jetting off to New York City to attend a Republican fundraising dinner where he basked further in the win with a speech. At 1:51 am on Saturday, the Senate dramatically approved the $1.5 trillion bill which Democrats cried foul over, claiming they did not have time to read it before the votes were cast. It was passed with a vote of 51 to 49. Vote moves the GOP and President Donald Trump a major step closer to slashing taxes for businesses and the rich in a bid to reignite the economy while offering everyday Americans more modest changes. Trump was still up when the decision was announced at around 2 a.m. and he tweeted then to scroll down for video. A triumphant President Trump is pictured outside the White House on Saturday morning after the tax bill was passed. He described it as one of the big nights and used the victory to try to dodge questions about disgraced National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. The president returned to Twitter shortly before 8 a.m. on Saturday to celebrate the Republicans' tax victory in the Senate hours earlier. "We are one step closer to delivering massive tax cuts for working families across America. Special thanks to its Senate Major LDR Mitch McConnell and Chairman Senator Orrin Hatch for shepherding our bill through the Senate. Look forward to signing a final bill before Christmas," he said. On Saturday, as he spoke at the fundraiser at New York's Cipriani restaurant, protesters lined the streets outside to revolt against the decision. They carried signs labeling it a GOP tax scam and said the cuts would destroy education. Vice President Mike Pence announced the bill's passage at 1:51 am to a round of rapturous applause from Republicans after a marathon voting session. The Democrats, who voted in bloc, said the largest U.S. tax overhaul since 1986 will help the rich at the expense of the middle class and add $1.5 trillion over 10 years to the $20 trillion national debt. They were joined by deficit hawk Bob Corker of Tennessee, the only Republican to oppose the bill. "Obviously I am kind of a dinosaur on the fiscal issues," said Corker. Trump spoke again of the victory at a Republican fundraising breakfast at Cipriani's in New York later. The event was dogged with protesters who lined the streets in costume and with signs. The NYPD was forced to set up barricades to control the crowds outside Cipriani's during the breakfast. The scene outside the well-known restaurant in Manhattan as Trump spoke inside. But other Republicans insisted the changes will be revenue neutral as tax cuts spur employment and growth. After the vote, Kentucky Republican Mitch McConnell, the Senate Majority Leader, called it a great day for the country and said, "I am totally confident this is a revenue-neutral bill." The bill was almost scuppered by a push from Schumer to delay the vote until Monday as Democrats complained the bill was scrawled with last-minute changes and printed in small font.